Hello, Antiochian Men. This is Bryce Kirk, and today I will be doing another interview in our Amen interview series. With me today is fellow board member Elias AbuGhazaleh, who is one of our Antiochian Men board members, like I just mentioned. Elias is the treasurer for Amen in the Diocese of Miami in the Southeast. Elias, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, Bryce, for having me. Always good to talk to you.
Absolutely. I got your last name right?
Yes.
Pretty close. All right. So, Elias, we met actually several months ago in Raleigh. And I believe you and our Amen president, Michael Ballack, have known each other for actually quite a while. Could you start out by explaining the story of when y'all met from before the PLC?
Yeah, it was interesting. I actually did not even know he was in our diocese. So it was kind of a surprise when I saw the name and Bishop Nicholas introduced him as the new Amen president. I knew Michael back from when I lived in California. His family moved to Van Nuys, California, where his dad became the priest at our church. The previous priest was retiring, so Father Timothy, Michael's father, took over, leading the church, and that's when I knew. That's when I met Michael, and I moved off to college and work, and didn't keep in touch. My family is regular attendees at St. Michael's over there in Van Nuys. So we know Father Timothy for quite a long time. He was actually the priest that hosted my wedding ceremony. He also baptized my two daughters. I have twin daughters. And he even came to their college graduation party that we hosted in California. We flew back there to have a family gathering for them, and he attended. I've known him for many years. He's part of the family there.
Oh wow, yeah, that's pretty neat. I met Father Timothy a couple weeks ago, and he had mentioned you and your family being at his parish. So that was pretty neat. Kind of a small world, I guess, in terms of Orthodoxy.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's wonderful that you and Michael kind of already knew each other. So would you please tell us more about yourself, actually, the church that you belong to in our diocese, what you do for a living, and how you ended up where you're living at now?
I guess I'd have a interesting path to get into where I got to. I was actually born in Saudi Arabia. My father worked there for 39 years. So I grew up there, and then I moved to Kansas State for high school. Wow. When I was 16. And after high school, I moved to California to attend college. And that's where I started going to St. Michael's, and Father Timothy came in. Through career move, I took a job from California here in Central Florida back in 2005. So I've been here for about 14, 15 years. I work in the computer industry here in Central Florida, and I attend St. George Church down in Orlando, Florida.
Wow, that's quite the story. So I also believe you have several other responsibilities within the diocese. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's interesting. I love being involved with our church and our diocese. It's interesting. Through my life, I guess, being born in a Muslim country, I actually went to a Catholic high school. I went to a Lutheran college. Didn't really start down the path of, Orthodox faith until I was in college. I lived with my aunt at the time, and she, would take me to church. I would say that's when I started my Orthodox, practicing or understanding the Orthodox religion. And I got more and more involved in the diocese. As you mentioned, Amen treasurer. I also am the treasurer for the Diocese of Miami in the Southeast. I also serve as a member on the Camp St. Thecla Finance Committee. Let's see, what else? I think that's it. In terms of positions that have been, that I have. I do a lot of the Facebook posts for the Diocese of Miami, maintaining our mailing list, emails sending out, information about retreats, about PLCs, So I try to keep up with that, as well as helping Father Philip Rogers, who's manning the missions in our diocese. So I support in terms of sending them financial assistance on a monthly basis.
So you seem to keep pretty busy then.
I do. I enjoy it. It is at times, depending on the time of the year, if it's PLC, because I get involved a little bit there in terms of ensuring that we're sending communication out to our diocese, or around the retreats that we have, the fall and winter retreats. So a lot of phone calls, a lot of conference calls with Bishop Nicholas and other committee members.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So speaking of the PLC, we actually met this year at this one. This is the first one I'd actually attended. You've been to several, correct?
Right.
And so I guess as compared to years past, what has this year's PLC, what was that experience like for you, and kind of what stood out compared to the other ones?
I would say primarily, like, the number one thing at this past PLC was the formation of the Amen group, having the official group become a group under Bishop Nicholas. That was probably exciting for me. And then I really enjoy attending the PLCs, primarily because I get to see a lot of the priests that I work with throughout the year. So they've gotten to know me, I know them. My daughters love attending because of their camp bondship with the other kids that attend Camp St. Thecla as well. This past one, I think, was, besides the Amen, that was probably, for me, probably the best PLC I've attended. The session we had for the Amen meeting was really moving. It was great. That's where I saw Michael again for the first time. And when he was introduced, I was like, I know that guy. So that retreat will always, that PLC will always be special to me, to get in touch with him again and then have him become the Amen president.
Yeah, that you mentioned the talk. It was extremely moving for me as well.
Yeah.
But that's really a good thing that you shared that. Getting to know priests, getting to know other people throughout, really throughout the diocese, especially for your family as well. So you were actually the interim president for Antiochian Men, I believe, early on, before the board was appointed. So I'm just curious, Elias, what inspired you to become involved with the Antiochian Men in the first place?
It was really something that Bishop Nicholas really drove the need for men in our diocese to have a group, right? We have the teen soyo, we have the young adult, the women have the Antiochian women. And I've been to, a winter retreat, 2 winter retreats. We didn't really have a lot of attendance from men, I would say. So at the previous winter retreat was where we started sort of an unofficial Antiochian Men, where I was serving as a president, pretty much really taking notes as we had the first discussion, sent out the meeting notes about, what we want to accomplish. Bishop Nicholas did a great job outlining his vision of this group. So honestly, I didn't drive it too hard, knowing that we weren't official yet. I didn't have the support. There wasn't a committee. It was difficult. It was one-way communication. But at the appointment, at PLC, between then and now, I wish a lot of people would take a look at how much we've accomplished. Many thanks to yourself, Michael, Father Hans, really driving the movement of forming this group and onboarding other men in our diocese to be in touch with each other, communicate. And I think it gives myself and others a chance to look forward to a retreat or the next PLC when we can be together and continue working and strengthening each other in the group.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks be to God that we're really meshing pretty well as a board. And I really have loved doing a lot of these interviews with board members. I know Michael's also been doing some as well. And the nice thing about them is that we get to learn more about, who we are, get to kind of explain to the men in the diocese who's who's helping organize some stuff, I guess, at the main level. And so would you mind sharing, since you are our treasurer, Elias, what your responsibilities are in your capacity?
Right now it's been, we haven't done like things to raise money, and I want to pass a message on to everybody. That's not the goal of Antiochian Men. We have the ability to take donations to help us along. You and Michael have done a great job with your road trips to various parishes, these interviews, the video blogs. I look forward to, we started also a Bible study class as well that you guys started. So I think all those things are great. And that's what I kind of want people to focus on. I've supported in my role. I've kind of been a bystander a little bit. You guys are doing an awesome job, and I'm there to support, giving ideas as a board member, participating in, feedback on our website. That's really looks awesome, as well as, being on band and chatting with people. I know we've had, the shirts that we've created and sold some as well, for the Antiochian Men shirts. We still have more. We're taking orders. So anything like that in terms of ordering or paying for stuff for Amen, I get called in to assist with that.
Yeah, that's it's all really very important. And I know my experience from working with you over those last few months is that you've been really involved behind the scenes with a lot of that stuff. And I suppose one big part of that is our transition to band from GroupMe. Would you kind of talk a little bit about what the benefits are compared with band to GroupMe, and what you like about it?
Yeah, band was a good choice, moving from GroupMe. I think that the conversation capabilities of band are much better. I know we have plans to kind of throw out there some conversation points in band. I don't think GroupMe gave us that ability. For me, band was a lot easier to navigate, use, and get in touch. Just, I think over about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I got in touch with a couple of people through band that I've met at PLC or the retreats, or even at my own parish, that I wanted to send them a message. They were not on GroupMe, so I can't say that it was, comparison better, but they responded right away. So I see the power of being able to be in touch. We've done a lot more with band, I think, as as Antiochian Men. And I think it's, we have room to grow in it, and I think that's our plan. The way we start conversations and have that dialogue in there is a lot more user-friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I've personally really enjoyed the transition, and I do think it has an ability to facilitate better discussion, and it seems a little bit more personable for the men as well. So,
yeah.
You mentioned earlier that that you currently live in Orlando, and I wanted to ask what it's like living in, I guess, a tourist destination for a lot of people. Does it present any challenges or opportunities for your church community, or what has that experience been like?
We do get a lot of visitors at our parish. I will say that. So we get a lot of tourists, a lot of people from, whether they're from Russia, the Middle East, all sorts of types of people. They come by, they see they see the church. It's in Central Florida. It's downtown Orlando. There's always a lot of activities. We're like right across from Lake Eola down there, which is a huge lake in Central Florida. It's sort of a park. They have an amphitheater, so there's always events going by, and people see the church and always come by and visit. Icons are my favorite thing, I think, at church, and we have a lot of icons, so people come and enjoy walking, downstairs and then going up to the chapel and visiting there. But no challenges, really. Just, it's an opportunity for us to network out to other people.
Yeah, that all sounds. Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Um, getting, all sorts of people from all sorts of places, getting to kind of
Yeah.
enjoy the little T tradition of your church. So
Right.
it's wonderful. And how has Antiochian Men played a part in that? What's that experience been like?
I would say at St. George, we're a slow start to really having an engaged group of men. We've had two meetings. We have another one scheduled at the tail end of this month, and then we have our first event as an Antiochian Men in early November. There's a fall fiesta right across the street that St. George always participates in. So it's our biggest moneymaker in terms of an event where we're raising money. We actually have a lot of people in the church that cook pastries that we sell. We also have, I can call it our world famous chicken wrap, sandwich that we serve as well.
Mm.
So in the past years, it's been me and a couple other guys setting up the tents, clean up, running back and forth, bringing food from the freezer and the oven to the event. This year, I do have a group of men that have signed up to assist in some of the, setup and breakdown. So it's not just me and a couple of other people doing it. But I will say that I think we have a group of about 15 men that attended the last several meetings. So we're slowly growing in number.
So Elias, I guess I just have one more question for you. What have been some of your favorite parts of Amen, I guess, whether at your parish or throughout the diocese, and what are you looking forward to most about the future of our organization?
I definitely saw a bonding, a coming together when us here in Central Florida, when we had the hurricane come close. I will say that, Amen as a group stepped up. We formed a support system, getting in touch with everybody we knew up and down the coast, setting up, possible locations to send aid to. I know that I volunteered being in Central Florida to, drop ship things to me here that I can drive to people that were affected that we knew in our diocese. I know we had, I believe it was a subdeacon or a deacon that vacated where he was at and was looking for a place to stay. And, Bert, our secretary, stepped up, or I think it was from his parish. I'm not sure. I forgot what it was. But there was instant communication throughout the Amen group. Without it, I would not have been involved, right? I could not have helped because I didn't have that support network. I definitely see it as a group of men helping each other, helping ourselves, and helping our diocese first and foremost, as well as our parishes. You know, I guess what needs to be done. We have a group of men here that's willing to do it, and usually we probably all do it without this group. However, I feel that this group we help strengthen each other. We give encouragement, we give support. I definitely see that taking part, and it's a discussion point between men in my parish and myself. I let them know about our board meetings, what things are we discussing, what things are coming up. Remind them about the guest speakers, about the Bible study class, about the vlogs that are coming out from Father Hans. So it's a gives us an avenue to have discussion points. I think that would not have been there without having this group there.
It's certainly grown extremely quickly. Everything that you've cited, it's that's been quick, and it's been really good to see. So I'm looking forward to what's next as well. So I guess
likewise.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all I've got for you, Elias. So thank you very much again for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, as always, and getting to know you better. And we also appreciate the work that you've done and that you're going to continue to do for the diocese.
Thanks, Bryce. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely. So to all Antiochian men, thanks for tuning in to our interview today. Please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to like this video and click click the little bell icon so that you can be notified when new videos are posted. Until next time, this is Bryce Kirk signing off.